Indeed. Heading to the last map, it's a TeamNut map choice. It is Volskaya Foundry.
Volskaya Foundry, also one of those potential late game maps, depending on how long you can survive with the Protector against you. And this is where it all comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of this game moves on to the next round and takes a big step towards staying in the league. First ban from the A-Team is on the Irel. On the Genji, not on the Irel. And I'm really curious.
I'd like it to be on the Irel.
I want it to be on the Irel right now. The second ban. Let's go. They can't let it go through again. Unless they pick it, but they refuse to pick it themselves.
I mean, they can let it go through. It's okay. This map's not so bad for it. The solo lane isn't going to be as isolated as some of the other maps, but it's still going to be potentially worth the ban. But no, not this time. We see the Tracer being banned out.
Okay. So the Tracer is being shut down for now. Definitely not the worst of choices if you consider how well this battleground normally is catering towards the Tracer. Lots of open spaces, lots of possibilities for her to actually catch enemies off guard. The Malthael actually getting shut down as well by TeamNut. Could allude towards a potential Murden play. Maybe they want to pick the Diablo themselves this time around.
It's possible. Gonna be Diablo's first pick. I wouldn't mind Mouth. Ah, they do steal
Yeah,
it.
there
Okay.
we go.
No issue with that at all. No complaints.
Absolutely true. If you don't want to ban it out in your first pick, you just steal it away from the enemy team. Now, what does 7Milk still have in his pockets? We saw him on a Thrall. We saw him on the Blaze earlier. His Blaze didn't really look that good in my opinion, so maybe Thrall might be the better weapon. It's usually the more viable hero in general, but it is the Blaze. Never mind.
They've already. It still slows. Slows for the Phoenix art can be applied here. Lots of oil, maximum oil. Gonna give them enough slows, hopefully, to fight over these objective points. Blaze, of course, Bunker also very helpful for setting up for those kind of plays. Remember, whoever loses this is guaranteed going to the Crucible. Winner has a chance to fight their way to avoid it.
And this time it is the A-Team who takes a page off TeamNut's book here. And they deploy a very, very beefy and a very aggressive front line. Triple front line with the Maiev setting up the combos. And they deny the Chromie? Okay.
Chromie's good damage. There's the hammer ban immediately. Just like, oh, you're banning Chromie. Oh, what could that possibly mean? Well, it used to be able to mean just immediately. It used to when the Chromie was banned, it used to mean, oh, we want to pick Ariel, which could still be the case. But nowadays, it's very much a telegraph of, we would quite like Sergeant Hammer, please.
Oh, you're right, actually. Like, back last year, when we had that double support meta and Ariel was a fixed part of it, sometimes people would end up going Chromie against Tacit or Ariel, for example, because neither of them had a cleanse. The flashbacks are real. I like it. They pick away the Hanzo, this time with the Dragon's Arrow. Very, very likely. It's this disengage tool, you know, stunning. Even if it's just a mini stun, stunning 3 or 4 members of an engaging Maiev combo is very, very valuable. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is smelling. Can you smell it? It should be a Bloodlust comp. If that is an auto attacker like Cassia, I can really see the Bloodlust coming in. Playing it a little bit more like SBT. Remember that game, Tetcher, when we had Tomb of Spider Queen, Bloodlust, with that Maiev engage? It was over in like 7-8 minutes.
I think it's good. I mean, Yavrel's not the best auto-attacker because her abilities are required for auto-attacks to be super impactful, but she's still frontlining, she's still causing chaos, so it's still really good. If not, Ancestral on Maiev or Ancestral on the Cassia is also pretty good. Here's how you deal with that. The Arthas, if you're going to run into us, the counter is not running away, as we've already seen multiple times. The counter is to just turn around and hit them really hard.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be a Bloodlust combo, right? Don't let yourselves get fooled because we highlighted it. We just wanted to point it out as a possibility, because it has seen more play, especially in China. As we mentioned earlier, teams like SBT, the Super Perfect team, they consistently rely on Bloodlust, you know, in those compositions with a Maiev. So while it still could be, you know, the Ancestral Healing for a more general, for a more common game approach, it could still be the Bloodlust, you know, if they wanted to turn things up and really make a quick engage happen. However, Tetcher, I'm a little scared of a Bloodlust composition here because look at all the disengage they have. Arthas with attack speed and movement speed slow, the bunker.
I don't even count any of that really as disengage. I'd count that as position holding.
Yeah.
Which I think is how, once again, and I've said this before, that's how you play against this comp. You don't disengage from it. Gust is not really a counter to the Bloodlust comp very effectively. It sort of works sometimes,
unless you
not
hit everybody.
all the time.
Exactly.
Unless you hit everybody, exactly. So I personally think that the best counter to a Bloodlust is to stand really still and to just hope it runs past. Is to just hold your ground and just have builds that can help you hold your ground against it. Because when there's a Warden's Cage down, you're gonna have issues here, and that's gonna be a problem. Either way, though, I'm still holding out for the first, or at least one that I've seen, the first professional auto attack Diablo build.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping to see, where you just go the full cooldown reduction and the overpower build and just slam people, because I love that build. Maximum CC. Either way, let's see what they do end up picking as we head into the final game of this best of 5 series.
The final game it is, and who walks away with the victory? We're going to find it out right here, right now, on Volskaya Foundry. The left-hand side, the Nuts, yet again in the blue trunks with no on that Hanzo. FS plays the Arthas. 7 mil back on Blaze. Oasis on that Phoenix, and Alexstrasza is being played by Tui.
And on the right, it is the A-Team, with Jaina playing the Yorel, interesting. Olele playing the Cassia, Bruiser on Maiev, Saint Okov on the Rhaegar, and Kaitu is bringing out the Diablo.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about Jaina, right? The player that is, mind you. If there's only one ranged assassin slot to be filled, he has no issues, no problems whatsoever to basically switch roles and go for that main tank, sometimes go for that melee flex as we see it here. And that's the beauty of the Chinese team sometimes. They have very flexible rosters in terms of who can play which role. Let's see how much of an impact Jaina will now have on Irel. Bruiser already keeping that top lane clear against 7 mil. And Irel win for the bottom.
So interestingly enough, no charge strikes, which already takes away from the potential for a Bloodlust, but there's nice Memento, which leans towards the possibility of a Bloodlust. Nice route. See ya, Jaina.
Yeah, that's it.
You're gonna get taken out here. Nice kill. And the fact is, though, nice Memento leads towards it. Thunderstroke does not. And Diablo hasn't even picked his level 1 yet.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. I mean, sure,
Nothing really
he hasn't
gives anything
actually
away.
I mean, against the enemy team, I don't think we're going to see the spell shield, the soul shield, because there's only so much ability damage coming in, right?
Nope. Immediate cast.
Still see it. Oh, cast a curse.
Immediate. Still real. Glad to see that. Very much a fan of the cast curse. But I would agree with you. I would have thought the CC healing would have been potentially the most effective.
Yeah, especially in those platform fights, you know, where there's a consistent layout for walls. There's a couple of choke points where Diablo can really thrive with that Feast on Fear. Now, look at that tether on TFS. Takes a little bit of tower damage. Good damage overall.
Kaitu eats a little bit of damage on the way out as well from Phoenix, though, and this is going to attempt to give TeamNut the opportunity to try and grab this healing camp. FS actually misses steps out of the abundance. Diablo goes deep. Here comes the fend from Olele. There goes Arthas. 7 mil also taken out, and that is a savage engage. They get the double kill, burn the Dragon Queen, and if Jaina gets out, they have to use the healing pulse for this. They commit for the triple kill instead.
I'm not sure if they should have used the healing pulse there, but you might as well ask, you know, why not? If it secures us another kill because TeamNut was getting a little greedy there because all of our health bars were dropping dangerously low, you might as well commit to it and get yet another pickup.
Here's where we see if it is worth. If they are able to get a tower, maybe 2 here, then it's worth. Because they use their advantage. Using the numbers advantage is such a big deal when you've burnt such an important tool as the healing pulse, that biotic emitter. They're going to look for not only that tower, but potentially a kill, but 7 Milk able to keep in that tether range, not allowing it to happen. Kaitu decides it's no longer worth staying here. They rotate, and they're going to try and probably grab their own turret, because TeamNut already have theirs.
And you can already see how safely TeamNut is rotating, right? They realize, you know what? There could be a Diablo, there could be a Maiev lurking in the shadows, and if we get caught in an unfavorable position there, we're going to be in some, you know, in a really, really sticky situation. So they take their time. Go ahead.
Who has the TeamNut turret? Was it blown during that?
Yeah, the blue turret was blown. That's another big crippling factor.
Oh, wow.
They committed everything to a TeamNut, and they lost everything.
commit everything, lose everything, literally the worst case scenario. As 7 Milk takes a little bit of CC from Kaito, who I bet will see her to see the stun healing right then, as Jaina says hello and then says goodbye.
Just showing them that Irel is not afraid to engage a team fight, even when severely outnumbered. Takes the healing fountain as well, so no biggie here. And during all of this, you can see Maiev dealing with the siege camp here in the top lane, right? So now that Maiev is going to slowly rotate, trickle in towards that point of contention, it's going to be the A-Team with a more aggressive engagement. Here it goes.
Aggressive turret positioning, able to help them take down the Blaze here. FS also forced off the point. Nice delay by Seitukov with that turret. Jaina duels Oasis. This should be an Oasis win due to range. Just stutter steps him out a little bit. That's a nice little bit of damage. It is mobile offense as well.
And the problem here was for TeamNut that Phoenix didn't even bother showing up. He was still busy soaking up in the bottom lane because they wanted to get that level 7 talent, right? So with him not joining the fight in time and them just getting absolutely crushed by that Maiev Diablo engage, they're now in a really precarious situation. 75 and charging for the A-Team. The turret actually is still zoning out Arthas.
Kaiju holds the line for the moment, but the turret is down, and now there is a turret in the hands of TeamNut. They move on to the point, holding the objective for the moment, looking to put the pressure on. Jada is very low, being forced to Avenging Wrath out here. Olele is just kiting and throwing in the spears as Kaito is dropped low. Kaito will go down. Raygun not able to heal. Nice little body flip there, as it is a 1-for-2 for 1. As Bruiser picking up kills in the back line. In comes Olele as well with the damage output here. And that is going to be a full protector coming in for the A-Team.
Wow, such a clean fight from start to finish for the A-Team, especially Maiev completely left unattended. And we want to take another look here, especially at Bruiser on the Maiev. So much effort being put onto Kaito. You know, TeamNut really wanted to get that Diablo dead, who was in a very bad position in the first place, but look at Bruiser. Reset, and it's looking good.
Back line, reset, drag.
Oh my god.
Bruiser, that was insane. Wow. Oh my god, he just got every reset there. Arthas is dying as well on the live feed. He will actually get out, but that dropped super low. In the meantime, the Protector is just wrecking top lane.
Absolutely true.
It is a Bloodlust. What is this build? What is this build and composition coming in here? It's a Spear Cassia, no charge strikes, with Bloodlust, not a single auto attack talent from Diablo. At least they have the Warder's Cage. Those Memento makes sense. This is weird.
Alright, it could work out. You know, just imagine the Bloodlust in the previous situation. Everybody clumped up, everybody trying so hard to engage on the
right.
I agree with that. Okay, so TeamNut, they need that level 10. I think Diablo was actually trying to bait this. There we go. Using the Lightning Breath here for good measure. And with that level 10 advantage, they're definitely going to secure themselves another healing pulse. And Tetra, look at how they're snowballing away of their opponents in terms of experience, A-Team that is. Something you can never forget about on this map is as well how much experience these mercenary camps give to you, especially the healing camp. You could see a major chunk of that level 11 actually coming in all the way because of that healing pulse getting taken over.
Kaiju eats a lot of damage. There's the Bloodlust. They just turn it round. Ball Lightning actually stops working because Diablo tackled FS away. They still get the kill, but slight misplay here. Kaiju also eats a lot of damage from Oasis. Not enough to kill him off, but that was still only a 1-for-0 trade. Where that could have maybe been a 2. As level 10, it's also hit for TeamNut. Dragon Strike returns with what lockdown, TeamNut?
Are you kidding me right now? I don't even see the value of Dragon Strikes. Not a single situation. I don't see it.
Root stun. That's it. I think the idea is maybe, well, if they're going to put the Warden's Cage down, maybe they'll be less willing to leave the Warden's Cage.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it's good against Diablo. He drops Lightning Breath, he's not moving, but he also has Spell Shield.
Exactly.
So
I honestly think that at this point, the auto attack healing provided by Bloodlust are going to outsustain the damage from Dragon Strike.
I mean, it's not going to help when he's in Lightning Breath, but yes, I kind of agree with you. That might be the case here. Bruiser eats a lot of damage from FS once again. Once again, people seem to underestimate the Arthas damage every now and again, because it can get very scary.
That it can. And you could also see how, despite the absence of level 10, it took them a long while to actually kill that Arthas because of his innate tankiness, you know, with the Icebound Fortitude, the Cell Feel, and now it's only going to get worse for A-Team when it comes to, you know, trying to burst down the Lich King. FS still needs to be careful, though. I'm not sure if you want to take that rotation. If you go past that wall, Diablo's going to slam you into it. You might take a lot of damage before the real fight even starts. They're taking this fight willingly, 11 to 13.
Dragon Strike is used. It actually does zone a couple heroes away from Diablo, but he just tanks through the shot. Sevenmilk dives into the backline, trying to get the seller to a Lele, who's really focusing onto Oasis. Stands in the oil. Good damage from the salvo, but Olele tanking through with the Bloodlust, allowing it to turn around, get a huge amount of sustain. Nice bunker micro, but it's not enough to save Sevenmilk. Here is FS being focused down. The abundance does not land on FS as down goes Alexstrasza. FS is still kiting away from this as down goes Oasis instead as Diablo gets a nice little target switch.
A level 7 into 13 engage into a Bloodlust composition was a very, very bold, some might even call it a foolish try for TeamNut to make something happen here. Look at what they could have done in the meantime. Instead of fully forcing this fight, they could have soaked a little bit more, maybe get that 13, because only now is the Protector capture zone active. So I don't see the reason behind it. Maybe they thought it was a 4-man unit. Maybe they thought someone was still, you know, split pushing because they didn't have vision on that person. But this fight turned back so hard. It went so south for TeamNut.
Whoever the target shot caller is for the A-Team needs a promotion, because at this point, that last fight was gorgeous. They managed to do so many really effective target swaps in terms of focusing in that last fight that it was insane to watch. Lightning Breath more as a dissuasion tool here right now, not a full commitment, but they're still able to move back onto the point and keep control.
Also at this point, we need to highlight the lethal efficiency of Bruiser on that Maya. True, I mean, TeamNut clumped up like crazy in those team fights, but still, barely a single fan of Knives whiffed and missed. Now they are a little too late with that healing pulse, but they still catch Arthas. He's going to have to panic use it.
He does, he blows it. This time it's a pretty decent Dragon Strike. Zones and does a fair amount of damage. Warden's face though completely cutting off the escape route as they're trying to push through this, doing as much damage as they can, but the health bars are non-existent for the A-Team. Nice tackle by Diablo over the wall to a million to escape. Beautiful play, but they still lost Cassia. There's still a hero down. Finally a good fight by TeamNut.
Yeah, finally a good fight. You said it there. Fighting with even talents. Actually, Arthas baiting out so many cooldowns, so many resources to be put onto him. He still had the army, he had the healing pulse, used it immediately for additional sustain. That was a beautiful fight, and they also punished the reckless positioning by Cassia, trying to get in the ball of lightning, trying to get in a little bit of fend damage as well. And you know what? All of a sudden, TeamNut in a really good spot, at least to delay the Protector here, because 16, that's the one bad thing for them, or against them, is just so close around the corner.
Cassia's back. It's 5v5 again. 16, like I said, is just around the corner. Minion Wave will be kindly delivered on a silver platter to the A-Team as TeamNut cleans out the lane. As 16 arrives, they move on to the point. Everyone is here. They've got a Merc camp here as well to put some extra pressure on. Nice little armor reduction coming in from Arthas. He's taken that talent, level 13. As we see FS move forward. Blaze takes a little bit of damage. Nice Umbral Bind here. Here comes the salvo. What are the slows? Not that effective. Saint Okov able to tank through this as Arthas once again focused down. No mana for sustain. He goes down. Ardent Defender coming in from the Urel. She begins to turn this around. Alexstrasza in the bunker. How does the dragon fit in that bunker? Completely isolated. Cleanse Flame just comes off cooldown. Oh, Diablo with the tackle. Interrupt the casting animation. And down goes Straza. Protector picked up by the A-Team.
Yeah, maybe she could have used the Cleansing Flame just a millisecond earlier to get out of harm's way, because when you are in that Dragon Queen form, the casting animation of the Cleansing Flame is much quicker rather than in human form. So right now, with that unfortunate mishappening happened there as well against TeamNut, I think the keep might be a goner. They still don't have the support at the ready, and even if Alexstrasza joins the fray, she's not going to have Dragon Queen. Phoenix put under pressure.
Here comes the engage. The Protector being used just very aggressively. Oasis without a shield even recharged yet. Alexstrasza though has returned. Nice done by Blaze to buy them some time. Once again, the shield recharge interrupted by Oasis. He would love just a tiny bit of time, please. Yeah. As No is also forced to back up. But with that keep down, it's all the A-Team really won. They will happily just rotate and grab more structures elsewhere.
Absolutely. That's basically all they wanted to achieve here. Open up the map a little more, you know, take towers, take some wall pieces as well in the middle so that you expand the experience gap even further. You actually take some big first steps towards that level 20. And you also make it easier for future pushes, of course, with future protectors to melt down some of the further structures. Now, this needs to be a little bit careful because Diablo's now in the middle of the enemy team, so is Bruiser on the mic.
Bloodlust. Beautiful Warden's Cage. No, almost escaped, but the lightning breath is too good. 7 mil, able to escape the side. Hanzo is dead. FS trying to get away, but Diablo not wanting to let him go. He's tanking through with everything he has. Good heal by Alexstrasza, trying to keep FS alive as he's holding the line and massively slowing everyone as Oasis just sticking in that phase bomb mode, doing only huge amounts of AoE damage in the end of that fight. As we do see the keep will go down. The TeamNut, they have, with the health bars they've managed to lower down, they potentially saved a core attempt.
This is definitely true. Like, it looks mighty grim and mighty dire for a TeamNut. Don't get us wrong here, but they still stay in the game. They stop the bleeding for now, although their bones have been shattered in some parts of their bodies. And I'm not sure, Tetra. 16 is going to be their last chance, I feel like. If they don't force a fight at 16, level 20 is going to be there. It's going to be double catapult pressure all the time. I'm not sure if they can actually stabilize there.
Right now, TeamNut with 1 keep, 1 fort remaining, both luckily in the Protector lane, but nothing really stops the Protector from just walking to another lane on this map. It is the joy of a player-controlled objective as TeamNut, they are in trouble. They have 16. It's their last chance to fight on even talents against a team that's halfway towards level 20. They need to find something, and the A-Team are more than happy to not let them. They will give up a Protector if they have to right now to get level 20.
They've got 2 turrets and 1 healing pulse, the A-Team that is. So not only do they have a massive advantage in terms of levels and experience and talents, but also they've got so much reinforcements now with those turrets and the healing pulse. I really think the A-Team is in a splendid position, clearing all the lanes for additional catapult pressure before they patiently rotate together with that level 20 and seek what could be the last team fight of this game if it turns mighty south for TeamNut.
There's 20 being up eventually. Come on, I thought they got a minion there, but they didn't. Okay, so 20 now is hit by the A-Team. So we see the extra range coming in from Cassia. Storm Shield, a little bit of Sephirim coming in from the Urel. Everything looks pretty standard here. As the A-Team, they immediately wrap around behind. Look at this concave. No, over the wall. Nice little play here. Gets nearer to the enemy base as the Umbral Bind comes in. And no, getting out. The Cleansing Flame is good. Lightning Breath is blocked, but FS and No are so low. Jada's in the backline causing chaos as Oasis gets completely zoned down. It's a 2-for-0, looking to make it 3. Diablo chases down for the 4th as Alexstrasza becomes 4th. Can Kaitu kill off Oasis? The kiting is real, but it's not enough. Overpower kills Phoenix mid-air, and the A-Team full team wipe with level 20 moving in for the core, and that is gonna be it. The A-Team put themselves 1 step closer to escaping that bottom 2 and escaping the Crucible, but TeamNut, they will be going to the Crucible.
Absolutely true. It's a sad moment for all the TeamNut fans out there. I know you guys love them, and so do we. But can they stay in HGC China? That is going to be the big question. They have 1 more series in the Crucible that they need to make it through. Otherwise, they're going to get replaced by one of the upcoming amateur teams in China. But the A-Team, Tetcher, they did it with some crisp team fighting there towards the end. The Bloodless comp reigning supreme. And we already said, you know, with Acacia it can work, but they actually made it a little harder for us to actually believe in that composition because so many of those talents didn't really work out with the Bloodless comp on paper. But hey, the result is all that matters, and they pulled it off somehow.
It was weird, but it worked, like you said. So that is going to be the A-Team. They will move on to our second series of the day, which is going to be against RPG. This is where they can potentially get even more. They can escape the Crucible. The TeamNut, they are not out. of HGC China. They now battle the #1 team in the Silver League, which is the Chinese version of the Open Division, due to the fact that their main league is called the Gold League, because naming conventions. They will battle the #1 or #2 team from the Silver League, depending on which one the winner of their playoffs picks. And if they win, they will keep their HGC China position. If they lose, they will have to either disband or try again via the Open Division, the Silver League themselves.
And Tetra, at this point, I wish I had a sign somewhere that I could race into the webcam, but no more Dragon Strike. It doesn't do anything. We haven't seen a single good one. It doesn't even put pressure onto the enemy teams. They could just dodge it. They could just ignore it. They can stand in it. Just go Dragon's Arrow and, you know, buy your team a little bit of time against the Bloodlust, lock someone down from across the map. Sounds like a deal.
Yeah. This game was definitely a Dragon Arrow game. And there was no Dragon Arrow. So, yeah. That's the end of that sentence. But congratulations to the A-Team. Very well, interesting builds, but well executed. They're looking smooth. There's very few games that I'm going to say the majority of the game. I'm going to say that the majority of the games they lost, or the 2 games they lost, were very much due to TeamNut playing very well than I think a cavalcade of the A-Team mistakes. However, the few mistakes that the A-Team are making, I think their next opponents might actually be a little bit more capable of punishing them. That is RPG.
Absolutely true. You raise a very solid point, and I think at this point, for the A-Team to maybe stand a chance against RPG, I think they needed to look much more clean in this first series, right? They had their ups and downs, don't get me wrong, but I think in order for them to really put up a fight against RPG, who are looking so good as of late, they really need to show their A-game. They need to show up like in game 2 and 3 all the time. Otherwise, RPG is going to take your lives mercilessly with, you know, Locktar very likely still playing with a team, with Saw, actually, a player that we've been a little critical of in the past, showing up big results lately on the heroes he plays. So yeah, definitely not an easy hill to climb for the A-Team. We're going to advance for now.
19-3. Nice job, A-Team. Looking good, that one. It's not a perfect game. It's not the 15-0 that TeamNut were able to achieve, but still nicely done. Bruiser gets his second MVP of this series. That's how impressive this player has been being today. And once again, I completely agree. That little consistent reset Umbral Bind play on that center objective point was mental.
Absolutely the most well-deserved MVP I think we've seen in this series. Like, Bruiser for the entire series has actually been putting on major work. Probably one of those players that we need to put in the limelight and magnifying glass a lot more, because he's been really on a roll. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you know what that music means, right? We're going to move on over to Nova or Yidao for the replay analysis. It's Nova! Yay!
As we jump in here, what do you have to show us, Professor Nova? Let's find out.
We don't even know how many replays we're going to take a look at. Are we going to take...
Yeah, it's best of 5. Hopefully not too many, because we need a break.
Yeah, we kind of do. So 5 replays would be kind of insane, but pretty sure we're going to have like a mix between 2 and 3. That should sound like a healthy amount. Here we take a look at the team fight that went down in the first game of that series on Sky Temple. This is actually almost looking like a picture-perfect setup for Diablo if it weren't for the Sanctification. It almost hits the entire enemy team. They can probably sustain and tank through that Lightning Breath for now.
Yeah, nice little seven-sided strike here coming in from Karazim. You can see right now there are 3 heroes in it. 2 of them back out very quickly, which means Blaze actually eats the majority of the damage. Actually, no, it doesn't. Bunker and Sank, I'm thinking of a different clip. Bunker and Sank block the majority of the shots here, as down goes Malthael first in this fight. Lovely ice block, but not enough to save Malfurion.
Exactly, and that was probably one of the...
Diablo did the turnaround.
Yeah, that was the bloodiest battle we've had in the entire game 1. A constant back and forth. Now wait for it.
It's nothing. Grabs the fountain, turns around. In the meantime, Cassia is just absolutely wrecking. Boom. Gets killed, and Diablo's like, I'm going to go for this player with the most health, who's the most sustaining, and I'm going to kill him. And he does! He immediately turns around, gets a stun, gets the immediate overpowered. Jaina is just out of range, but is able to move in range fast enough that she's able to get the blow up.
Yeah, and you can really see how 7Milk was a little unlucky there because he had just used his oil spill combo. He wanted to slow down the Diablo, but he was charging out of that oil spill, right? So that's why he was able to get closer towards the Tychus and lock him down. Now we're moving on over to game number 2, and this is already a very promising push here coming in for Team No. They lock on down onto the structure, but take a lot of damage in return. 7Milk very, very low, but hey, if you remember that game, guys, 7Milk, he doesn't die on that game on that reel.
He does not. It was that was on Dragonshy really where he didn't die. He did actually die once or twice in this one, but he still did pretty well. This is the one where Lele just turns it up. He's already got one go for the throat. He has the reset available because he did actually get the execute with it. So it's a last right and a go for the throat comp. Double execution style here. And right now, Greymane is Olele, you can see right here, just eating the Cleansing Flame, getting himself healed up. As they move forward, it's up to Bruiser and Muradin to really just set up for the second kill. And they do so.
TeamNut in a conga line here, all clumped up, very much so against the A-Team, who are then going to capitalize on it. As you said, Olele on that Greymane already on the chase. And with all that CC that they're going to have from the Muradin, I think they're probably going to be able to lock down another one. The Holy Ground is going to buy them a little bit of time here, actually stalling or zoning away Bruiser on that Malphite and the Muradin for now.
I think you are probably correct. Let's see.
Yeah, the Water Alley is of course in the chase as well, and with Water Elementals being so
but it's fast.
It's fast. It's going to catch up eventually. Right.
Second go for the throat reset, not able to get the third. And here's where you see a nice hardened defender, but a beautiful root just completely shuts that down because Jaina had the root at level 16.
Here we go. Replay number 3. Looks like we actually have 1 replay per game, which is kind of nice. So let's see. That was BOE. Oh, that was absolute domination on the side of A-Team. That was their best game by far.
This was brutal. This was not a, like we said, this was not a 15-0. But it was certainly a good play. This was just the siege potential coming out of Chromie.
Yeah, so much sieging. I really want you guys to pay attention on Olele on that Chromie. I think Tetra raises a really solid point here. Like always, locking down the Sergeant Hammer. Here goes the Temporal Loop. Boom, damage. Diablo capitalizes on it as well. And already, Sergeant Hammer has to retreat. She can no longer participate in that team fight. Yeah,
the Sundering, though, you saw that just come out. Look where Raider is. Raider doesn't want to be here. He is not in a fun place right now. It's absolutely shut down, which is definitely one of the nicer plays that we did see out of TeamNut that entire game, as they did struggle the rest of the time.
And you know what? With that Rainer very likely going to fall, this is basically a lost teamfight for the A-Team because the Immortal doesn't add that much teamfighting value. And look at the health bars as well. TeamNut in almost perfect condition. So at this point, I think Bruiser on the Illidan, by the way, who we needed to highlight once again, he realized, you know what? My team can't win this team fight anymore. We're 1 man down. The enemy team is fairly healthy. So what do I do on that Illidan? Well, I guess I might just as well just go for the core to cause a little bit of distraction to maybe split the enemy team formation in half. And even if they don't follow me, well, I'm just going to take down the core and pave the way for the Immortal to seal the deal.
Yeah. Works out. Dragon Queen has popped here, so a little bit of extra healing while FS is causing like a 2-man distraction in the backline. He thinks he's being helpful, removing the sustain. In the meantime, before the keep even falls, you can see here, the banner hasn't even dropped Illidan's in keep range, in core range. He immediately dives it. Atui and No are sort of in position. No is sieged up here. He needs to unsiege to rotate quicker.
Exactly, and during all of this, I don't think we actually highlighted that before, catapults through that bottom lane, they came in already and took down the core's shield. So Illidan had an even easier time to actually maintain.
Hammer was sieged. Okay.
Yeah, Hammer has moved there a little bit.
That's my bad.
But still.
Metamorphosis, 2 members, still super low. But even when Illidan dies, which he does, the core is still on a sliver of health, 1%. Diablo's there, Immortal's there. That's still a win. Here's where we see some absolute savagery, where TeamNut just decimate them. 3-man Dragon Arrow. See, why did you just do that game for?
You literally win games with Dragon's Arrow as TeamNut, and then in the game where it all comes down to, you go back to the Dragon Strike and lose. This should be a valuable lesson for them to remember.
If you're going to pick Dragon Strike, pick a lot of setup. If you don't, then it's a zoning tool. That's what you've bought yourself here. You've bought yourself a long cooldown zoning tool.
Exactly. So they needed better zoning tools or better lockdown tools. As you said, you need something like a Ring of Frost, maybe like an Entomb, the Maiev Cage, which wasn't available for them this time, of course. And just to rely on the raw zoning is usually not worth, you know, neglecting the Dragon's Arrow on. So as it is though, in this game we had a Dragon's Arrow, good lockdown as well.
Yeah.
And this is where
everyone was able
TeamNut
to
came
dodge
back
the Ring of Frost follow-up, which was nice, because it was engaged from very far away.
Yeah.
Was the slight issue here. I believe the execution came from Diablo going too deep. Gets tossed in, and then he tackles out, but then he turns around again, is my issue, because Thrall comes in from behind, they try to make a play.
Yeah, and this is actually where I thought the A-Team looked really good, because of that Thrall going completely uncontested in that flank. He's going to drop that Earthquake as well with a salvo.
Salvo.
Yeah.
The Earthquake, gotta time it. It's immediately on cooldown, so you can see it's just about to come out, because salvo is already scanned. This is where we see the value. Pretty decent timing overall, but it hits the two tankiest members, and that's it.
Exactly.
Oasis nearly goes down in the backline, but he tanks through that beautifully. Thrall just gets completely shut down for that dive.
And that's the problem, right? Thrall came in with a really good Earthquake, well-timed, came in with a good flank, but Olele, as you said, on that Phoenix, he was zoned out the entire time. He took so much damage that he couldn't actually afford diving in deeper, so he would hit more enemy heroes, especially the squishies in the backline. So as you said, it only hit Garage, I believe, and Irel, and they tanked and sustained through that easily. And here comes the retaliation strike from TeamNut. Full Groundbreaker completed for Garage there as well. And if you lose that bottom keep so early on into the game, keep in mind, guys, this is 8 minutes 36. You're going to be in trouble for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and with Phoenix teleporting away, this is where the keep goes down. They don't finish off the core, but they're able to pick off Jada as well, because even with that ticking out from Lifebinder, it's still a healing over time ability until the very last tick.
That is correct, and now we move on to the final game that secured A-Team the win overall to advance to the next round on Volskaya Foundry. This is... I'm not sure what happened here. Let's see how many items are available. So this is probably a pretty straight up fight because they used a lot of these items before. The healing camp is up. Ah, okay, so this is where the healing camp was taken and A-Team rotates. Just a little bit too late.
Yes, the A-Team take up position. Looking for the interrupt here. Did I get... They don't steal... Oh, yeah, this is where FS just immediately blows the healing
and where he's actually baiting a lot of talents and a lot of abilities onto him. Like, FS on that Arthas, he's going to be the Highlander, the unkillable in this one.
That's what you need with Arthas. As long as you're ready to fight, better value you're getting out of all of your abilities. This is actually also where we see a kind of okay Dragon Strike. The only kind of okay Dragon Strike, because they end up fighting in this super big choke point, which is lovely.
Actually, a nice scouting arrow there as well, coming in from Hanzo. So they know perfectly well where the engage is going to come from. Just imagine he had a Dragon Strike there. It probably would have dismounted both Irel and Diablo, kept them stunned for a little bit longer, and Arthas probably would have made it out a little more safer. But as it is, though, the scouting arrow prevents at least a little bit of surprising momentum for the A-Team. They're going to fully commit on this Arthas, who has to blow, as Tetra said, the healing pulse immediately, because he was in immediate danger of dropping.
They are very lucky, though. They actually have a heroic advantage here due to the fact that that Lightning Breath is on cooldown here, sorry. As they move in, Diablo gets stunned, everyone immediately turns around, healing pulse. Army of the Dead is enough, thanks to the big stun. The Dragon Strike, it's mostly on Diablo, but it definitely forces Olele and Jaina
to the side,
reposition as they get chunked, especially by that Ball Lightning as well. They both drop super low. One dies. Bruce is in the backline, but he's too low to actually be getting value out of his fan of knives there. And then Diablo gets the nice little charge away the freedom. But overall, that was just a really solid fight, and we get a second replay from this game. There's a lot of replays.
That's a lot of replays. Nova's not going easy on us, that's for sure. But yeah, it was a good stabilizing team fight for TeamNut, as you could see. But unfortunately, they weren't able to carry all the momentum all the way through. Here is another team fight. How many items? Like, I'm always trying to count those items, because depending on how many items your team has, and how many items the enemy team has, sometimes you actually do not want to engage this. This is a 14 into 16 team fight. Look at the minimap, Tetra. There's still all the keep standing. There's still a 4 standing in the bottom lane. So in most other regions, this 14 team, TeamNut would have not engaged there. Not for an all-in team fight.
They would have counter pushed bot, counter pushed mid, something that wasn't here. The problem is, I guess, is because this is a tier 2, they don't want to lose a keep, because there's no way they're going to get 16 off of that push.
Yeah.
So I think the idea was, okay, well, if we're going to lose, we might as well try an RNG loss and just see if we can get something super lucky. We have a turret. The enemy team has a turret. We're even on those, so might as well try and make a play.
And trying to make a play, they did. Artha's already trying to go in with that engage. Bruiser is in position, though. And Bruiser, I think, needs to be the highlight of most of those team fights here on that Maiev, because the way TeamNut played and how recklessly they played, he just got reset city rolling every single time. Now, he goes one turret. Pretty sure the second one gets dropped down as well. Kaito, by the way, with a little bit of a mistake. The moment you see the enemy turret go down, I think you should use yours as well and then Lightning Breath. But he actually keeps the turret in his possession and uses Lightning Breath, so he can't use it in the meantime.
And the Lightning Breath here, like you said, is going to get a little bit of value, but that turret being held for so long here. Yeah. Health bars of the A-team starting to drop very low, but they killed off Arthas, so they have a good angle. And here we see just so close for Alexstrasza. She pops out a Dragon Queen, she immediately gets Cleansing Flame back, tries to use it in this little corner, but Diablo is not having any of it.
Yeah, like it's so tricky in this situation when there's so many CC effects right next to you, but she needed to use it now or before in the Dragon Queen form.
She's casting it now.
Yeah.
Well, she couldn't have, if she started using it in that Dragon Queen form, it would have been interrupted by her own transformation. So this delay till now, starts using it, immediate 10-second cooldown because Diablo immediate charge during the wind-up animation, and pop goes the Alexstrasza.
Yeah, and that was basically all she wrote there for TeamNut from this disastrous team fight that they were willing to choose themselves. So you could actually say they brought this upon themselves. They weren't able to recover from. The keep went down. You know the rest of the story. 2 keeps fell eventually, and the core followed suit right after. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was it for the first best of 5 of the day. We've got 2 more to go. Next in line, we've got the A-team looking okay against RPG, who should be a much steeper hill to climb for them. Will they reign supreme once more? Will they be able to survive without going to the Crucible? Or will RPG crush their dreams and hopes? We're going to find out in a bit. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a bit.